Hey guys, this is Mr. Articulate again. I'm the guy who makes a 5-minute YouTube upload every night where my main goal for the video is just to speak as fluently as I can without ever using filler noises like or or other filler noises of that nature. I'm coming to you from my car for the second night in a row. Tomorrow night I will also be in my car. I'm a part-time evening trivia host, like a bar trivia host. And last night, tonight, and tomorrow night, I am doing my trivia gigs. So this is really the only time I can do these videos. So this video is just about the fact that the last 2 days at work, I have been really tired, and how tired I've been has definitely had a negative impact on the quality of my work and my focus and my concentration these last 2 days. Same culprit really for both of these tired days I've had. It's that I stayed up way too late the night before for no particularly good reason. 2 nights ago, that was the night that really got me. It was a Monday. I had dinner with my wife and my kid and a family member of mine who's living with us at the moment, and did the dishes. I took out the trash, did a couple other good domestic chores, and at that point I settled down and I listened to some music by Beethoven. I'm working my way through right now all of his piano sonatas. So I listened to about 30 minutes of Beethoven's piano sonatas, and then after that I watched some NBA. Did that for probably half an hour too. And at that point, it was about 9:30, which would have been a perfect time for me to go to bed. And I took out my phone and I got on X, or as it used to be known, Twitter. And I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled through X. And what I tend to do in X is when I go into the website, because I don't use the app, I prefer for a lot of these famous modern day apps to actually just use the web versions instead of having the apps. That's probably a topic for a different video. But when I go to the website, there's 2 tabs. There's the For You tab and then the Following tab. For You will just give you tweets, many of which will come from people you follow, but not all. Whereas the Following tab will give you tweets strictly from people you follow. And so I typically go to the For You, and I was there and I scrolled and I scrolled and I scrolled until I really had run out of things to be interested in, but my brain just kept wanting to scroll. It didn't want to stop. So then I flipped over to the Following tab, and I scrolled and I scrolled and I scrolled in that for a long time. And when that got old, it was time to go back to the For You tab. So I went back and I scrolled again. I think I might have flipped one more time a few minutes after that, or 15 minutes after that, back again to the Following. And then that's the end of X, but my brain still wanted to just be on my phone, working my thumb on my screen, consuming these short little things that cause small dopamine hits but don't have any genuine pleasure behind them, don't stimulate me truly, only stimulate me in a very shallow, dry way. So I went to YouTube. Didn't even watch a lot of YouTube, just watched some YouTube shorts and mostly just scrolled through the list of videos. And at that point, once I'd done that for a while, it was time, I felt re-energized to go back into X again, which I did. And then at some point, or probably multiple points, I would see things on X that would make me think of things that I'd be interested in Googling. So I'd Google them, I'd read some articles, and when I had satisfied my curiosity, I'd go back to X again. I'd go into Grok and ask Grok questions about different things. Soon enough, it was almost midnight, and I finished off a beer that I had been drinking. I'm a very slow beer drinker, so I had cracked open a beer probably at 8 p.m., and close to midnight, I kind of had forgotten about it, and it was still a third full. and I just decided I'm just going to chug the rest of this. So I chugged the rest of it, got a nice little buzz from that, drinking that quantity of beer basically in a few big gulps, and that was making me feel good. And so I decided I'm going to go up to bed, I'm going to get in bed, but I'm not going to just try to go to sleep right away. I'm just going to enjoy this buzzy feeling and the good feelings I was experiencing at that time. That was really a mistake, because by getting in bed with the mission that I had kind of established in my head as I walked up those stairs of doing something that wasn't go to sleep. My mission was to actually stay awake and ride the good vibes I was having. That messed up my brain. And then after those few minutes of riding the vibes, I didn't want to go to sleep anymore. So I stuck my head under the covers and, you guessed it, pulled my phone out and I scrolled some more for a while. And then finally, probably 1 in the morning, I do go to sleep. My little girl is up at 5:45. There's kind of a range. She might wake up anywhere between about 5:30, 5:45, all the way up to 6:30. Never know what you're going to get the night before. You just have to wait and see. This morning, where I really could have used the extra sleep from her, I didn't get it. So I was up at 5:45 again. And man, yesterday at work, I was just exhausted. So that was the big, heavy blow. And then last night, I got home from trivia. I decided to do a little bit of scrolling on X, and again, a very similar pattern took hold. I went from the For You tab to the Following tab. I went to YouTube and watched some shorts. I did some Google searches that on things I was curious about. I probably talked to Grok a little bit, went back to X again. I didn't stay up as late, but I probably went to bed in the end at around 11:15. And once I went up to bed, I went to bed. I didn't have this kind of thing that undermined me 2 nights ago, where I decided I would purposely keep myself awake in bed. So altogether, less bad, and my daughter probably slept till about 6:50. Actually, she slept till almost 6:15. But as we all know, there is that thing they call sleep debt. So on a night that I was carrying a bunch of sleep debt, staying up till 11:15, 11:30 when I easily could have gone to bed at 9:30 definitely was not good. And that was bad for the second night in a row. And today again at work, I was not as shot through the brain tired as I was the day before, but I was still tired. It definitely still had its impact on my ability to do my work, and that's no bueno. So here I am, it's about 9 o'clock, and I'm about to drive home, and here's hoping that I'm in my bed by 10. That's what I need. I need to go to bed at 10 tonight and get up with my little girl in the morning, do the things we do in the morning for our routine, but I'm hoping to get out the door a little earlier tomorrow morning than I normally would. And I want to feel jazzed up, full of energy as I go to work. I want my mind to feel clear, and I want it to be on the work that I'm heading into my office to do, and I want to make a really good day of it tomorrow. So that's my hope. It definitely all starts with with going to bed on time tonight. And what that starts with is not, as I'm swimming through this last hour of my night, not getting stuck in the whirlpool. Because once I'm in that whirlpool that I described from the last 2 nights, I have a heck of a hard time getting out of it until far too much time has gone by. So best is not to even touch that whirlpool, because if you touch the whirlpool and you tell yourself, I'm just going to touch it, but I'm going to swim strongly enough away from it after I touch it that I won't get caught, that is something that is probably not true. It's definitely not true for me, and I can and should know that, because years of experience tell me that the success rate of swimming out of the whirlpool in a timely manner is probably 25%, and then the other 3/4 of the time I don't succeed. So that's where my head's at. I went a little long on this video, so that's something that I want to note, because as I keep making these videos each night, I do want them to be 5 to 6 minutes long. And one thing that I think I'll be getting out of these videos as I keep doing them is I'm gonna get a better ability to figure out before I start the videos how wide the scope of the topic should be to ensure that I do manage to get it done in 5 to 6 minutes. All right, I hope anyone and everyone who has watched this whole video has a great night ahead for them, or a great day, depending on when they watch this video. And I shall be back tomorrow night with my next video. Thank you.